They say a man's true character reveals itself in how he treats what isn't his. But I never imagined my husband would walk into my father's garage, grab the keys to my car, and hand it to his mother like he'd bought it himself. Like it wasn't the last birthday gift my father gave me before the heart attack. Like it wasn't the one thing I treasured more than my wedding ring. What my husband didn't know, what he could never have guessed, was that touching my car meant touching my father's pride. And my father had never lost a fight in his life. So when he discovered the truth, revenge didn't just come quietly. It came roaring. And the moment I showed up, everything exploded. "You're joking," I whispered, staring at the empty space where my midnight blue Audi used to be parked. My garage looked naked. Wrong. Like someone had ripped out a piece of me. But the worst part? My husband stood there with a smug little smile, jingling the keys like he had just done something heroic. "Relax, babe," he said casually. "I gave it to my mom. She needs it more than you do." I blinked. Once. Twice. 3 times. "You?" "Gave her my car." He shrugged. "It was sitting here collecting dust." Dust. Dust. I drove it every day, to work, to the grocery store, to the gym, everywhere. It was my escape. My comfort. My last piece of my dad. My father bought that car with cash the week before he died, walked into the dealership, slammed his cane on the desk, and loudly said, "My daughter deserves the best. Wrap that one." My voice trembled. "You didn't even ask me." "Why would I ask?" he scoffed. "We share everything. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. That's marriage." My breath caught. "That car is in my name." "So is this house," he snapped. "But you don't see me accusing you of stealing it." I stared at him. He wasn't just arrogant. He was delusional. "You gave away something that wasn't yours," I said slowly, trying to keep my voice from shaking. "That's not sharing. That's theft." He waved me off. "My mom loved it. She deserves nice things. And it's not like you're struggling. Your dad left you plenty." My stomach twisted. "How dare you talk about my father like that?" He rolled his eyes. "Oh, please. You're too emotional. It's just a car. Just a car." The word stabbed me. My father had spent a year saving for that car. Every overtime shift. Every extra job. Every callus on his hands. It wasn't a car. It was love on wheels. And this man, this entitled, clueless man I married, gave it away like a free sample at a mall kiosk. I grabbed my jacket. "Where are you going?" he demanded. "To get my car back." His eyes flashed. "No, you're not." "Yes," I said, walking out. "I am." He grabbed my arm. For the first time in years, a cold warning slid down my spine. "You are not taking it away from my mother." I yanked my arm free. "Watch me." His face twisted with anger. But I didn't care. Not anymore. I got in my backup car, a small, aging Honda my dad bought me before college, and drove straight to his mother's house. And when I pulled up, there it was, my Audi, parked crookedly in her driveway. Front bumper scratched. Mud splattered up the sides. And the hood was dented. My heart stopped. She had owned it for 2 hours. 2 hours. And was already damaged. I stepped out of my car, fury vibrating through me. Before I reached the door, it opened. His mother stepped out, smiling proudly like she'd won a prize. "Oh, sweetheart," she cooed. "Did you come to see how beautiful my car looks?" My fists clenched involuntarily. "It's not your car," I said. "It's mine." She waved dismissively. "Your husband gave it to me. That makes it mine now." "That's not how property works." "That's how family works," she snapped. "Maybe if you acted more like family, you wouldn't have to give me things without asking you." I stared at her, speechless. This woman had always been entitled, but this was another level. "I'm taking it back," I said, walking past her toward the car. She stepped in front of me, matched my height, chin raised. "You touch that car, and I'll call the police." I inhaled sharply. "For taking my property?" "Yes," she said, smiling like poison. "Because your husband gave it to me. That's legal transfer of ownership." "That is not legal transfer. It is in my house." My fingers tingled with rage. And then, she said the one sentence that broke me. "I don't know why your father wasted good money on someone like you." Silence. Cold. Dark. Electric. I felt something snap inside me. Not violently. Cleanly. Like a rope that had been pulled too tight for too long. My voice came out calm. Terrifyingly calm. You have 5 seconds to get out of my way. She laughed. Laughed. Oh, please, sweetheart. What are you going to do? Cry? Tell Daddy. I slowly smiled. Because she had no idea. My father might have been gone, but he wasn't powerless. Not even in death. I stepped back, opened my phone, and played the last voicemail he ever left me. His voice crackled through the speaker. Pumpkin, if anyone ever touches that Audi, they're going to deal with me. One day you'll understand. Her face paled. Before she could speak, a deep, familiar voice behind me growled. And that day is today. I turned and froze, because standing at the edge of the driveway was my father's oldest friend, the man he trusted more than anyone alive, the man who promised to watch over me, Uncle Raymond. And he looked furious. Uncle Raymond stepped forward with the kind of presence that made grown men rethink their sins. Tall, broad-shouldered, gray at the temples, hands still scarred from the years he and my dad worked construction together. He wasn't just a family friend. He was the man my father trusted with his secrets, his business, his last wishes. And right now, he was furious. My mother-in-law's smugness evaporated the second her eyes landed on him. Oh, Raymond, she stammered. I didn't expect. He cut her off. Move. She blinked. Excuse me. You heard me, he said, stepping closer. Move away from the car. Her jaw tightened. This is my property. No, he said, voice low as thunder. It's hers, and you're trespassing with it. I swallowed hard. This was why my father trusted him. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten. He simply stated the truth, like it was the only thing that mattered. My mother-in-law lifted her chin. I'll call my son. You do that, Uncle Raymond replied coolly. In fact, call the whole family. Call the neighbors. Call the president if you want. He leaned in. But that car is leaving with her, and that is not up for debate. Her face flushed red. You can't talk to me that way. I just did. She opened her mouth again. But Uncle Raymond turned his back on her, which to a woman like her was the ultimate insult. He walked straight to the Audi and inspected it like a man checking battle wounds. His jaw clenched. You scratched the bumper, he said. She scoffed. It's just a scratch. He looked at me. My voice cracked. No. He nodded. I figured. Then he spoke loudly, deliberately. You know how much her father loved this car, right? My mother-in-law rolled her eyes. He's dead. Let go. My entire chest went numb. Uncle Raymond froze. Slowly, very slowly, he turned to her. What did you just say? She swallowed. I meant nothing. I didn't mean it like. Yes, he said softly. You did. The wind stilled. Something in the air shifted. Uncle Raymond's voice dropped to a quiet, lethal calm. Her father asked me one thing before he died. One. He held up a single finger. One promise. My mother-in-law stepped back. And that promise, he continued, was simple. Don't ever let anyone disrespect what I leave my daughter. He pointed at the car. That includes this. She looked between him and me, searching for any weakness, any gap, any chance to win. She found none. I said she doesn't deserve it, she snapped suddenly. She flaunts money she didn't earn. We've struggled. My son works hard. He deserves the nice things. I stared at her. Was she serious? I bought my own house, I said. I pay my own bills. I've had a job since I was 15. What exactly do you think I don't deserve? She scoffed. You wouldn't have anything without your father. I stepped closer. No, I said quietly. But I wouldn't be anything like you. Her eyes flared. Ungrateful brat. Uncle Raymond moved before she finished the word. Not violently, but firmly. He stepped between us, shielding me with his body. You're done, he said. You will not speak to her again like that. She inhaled sharply. This is between family. You don't get to interfere. His eyes narrowed. I'm more family to her than you will ever be. Silence. She sputtered in anger. You don't scare me, Raymond. He raised an eyebrow. You should. I couldn't stop the shiver that ran through me. Suddenly, her phone rang. She glanced at it and instantly brightened, smugness returning like a bad rash. It's my son, she said loudly, glaring at me. And when he gets here, we'll see who walks away with the car. She answered the call. Sweetheart, she's here, threatening me. Yes, yes, come right now. She hung up and crossed her arms triumphantly. He's on his way. Uncle Raymond didn't flinch. Good, he said. Then we get this over with. My heart pounded, because if my husband showed up angry, this wouldn't end peacefully. Maybe we should just leave, I whispered to Raymond. I don't want a scene. He shook his head. No, but, no, he repeated. I made your father a promise. Nobody takes what belongs to you. A distant engine roared in the neighborhood, growing louder, faster, sharper. I knew that sound. My stomach dropped. Uncle Raymond cracked his neck like he was warming up for a fight. My mother-in-law grinned wickedly. Oh, now you're in trouble. The car screeched to a stop in the driveway. My husband jumped out, face red with fury. He pointed at me. What the hell do you think you're doing? Before I could speak, Uncle Raymond stepped forward. Talking, he said, to your wife. About the car she owns. My husband scoffed. Move, old man. Raymond didn't move. He didn't blink. He simply said, no. My husband stormed toward him. But Raymond didn't back up, didn't flinch, didn't even straighten his shoulders. He just stared, cold, unbroken. My husband jabbed a finger into his chest. You don't tell me what I can do with my wife's stuff. I'm a man of the house. And that was the wrong sentence. So wrong. Because Uncle Raymond leaned down, eye to eye with him, and growled. You're not a man. The driveway went silent. You're a thief wearing a husband's title, Raymond continued. You stole from your wife. You disrespected her father's memory. And you put your hands on something that never belonged to you. My husband swallowed hard. His bravado flickered. For the first time, he looked unsure. Then, Raymond added one more sentence. And this one shattered everything. If her father were alive right now, he'd break your jaw for touching that car. My husband's face twisted. You think he scares me? He's dead. And then, something in Uncle Raymond snapped. But before anything could happen, a new car turned the corner. Fast, sleek, black, and familiar. Raymond's head lifted sharply. No, he whispered. Not him. My stomach dropped. Who? I asked. The car rolled to a stop. The driver stepped out, and my jaw fell open. Because it wasn't a friend, or a stranger, or a family member. It was someone I hadn't seen in 10 years. Someone who used to work with my father. Someone my father warned me about. Someone who made grown men shake. He looked at me, smiled, and said, Sweetheart, I heard someone messed with your inheritance. He stepped out of the black car like a shadow peeling away from night. Tall, expensive suit, silver watch glinting in the afternoon sun. A calmness so sharp it felt like the stillness before a storm. Victor Hale, not related to the previous story. This Victor was real, grounded, flesh and bone. The man my father worked with for 17 years. The man my father once fought with in the middle of a construction site, then shook hands with 10 minutes later. The man my father warned me about with 11 words I never forgot. If Victor ever steps into your life, pay attention. Because Victor didn't show up unless something was very, very wrong. My husband's mother's eyes widened. You didn't call him, did you? Victor's cold gaze slid toward her. Why? He asked softly. Would you be worth calling? She shut up instantly. My husband stepped forward, puffing his chest. Who the hell are you? Victor didn't even look at him. Instead, he turned to me. You okay? He asked. My throat tightened. Yes, I whispered. Now I am. He nodded once. Slow, deliberate. Uncle Raymond exhaled with palpable relief. Good, he said, because this just turned into something bigger. My husband glared at both of them. What are you, her bodyguards? Victor finally looked at him. One look, and my husband stepped back. Victor's tone didn't rise. It didn't need to. You took her property, he said. You transferred it without permission. You allowed it to be damaged. And you let your mother insult the memory of her father. My husband swallowed. It's just a car. Victor tilted his head. Is it? My stomach nodded. Because Victor knew. Of course he knew. He was the one my father called from the dealership the day he bought the Audi. He was the one who drove home behind my father when the check engine light blinked unexpectedly. He was the one who helped my dad install the security tracker on the car. Victor walked toward the Audi, ran his hand along the side. Your father loved this car, he murmured. Not because of the engine, not because of the brand, but because he wanted you safe. He turned, looked straight at me, and because you were his legacy. My eyes burned. My husband rolled his eyes. He'd be in prison for what he'd do to you. Victor cracked his neck. And now, he said, we deal with the consequences. My husband panicked. No, we're not doing this. I'll get you another car. I'll pay you back. Just tell her to stop all this. You don't get to negotiate, Victor said. My husband swallowed hard. What are you going to do to me? Victor turned to Raymond. Should we tell him? Raymond crossed his arms. Oh, absolutely. Victor looked back at my husband and said, we're taking back everything that belongs to her. My husband blinked. To the car. No. Victor stepped forward, voice dropping to lethal calm. The house. My husband's face drained of blood. My mother lives with us. You can't. Victor smirked. Oh, I can. And I will. My mother-in-law whispered, horrified. Why the hell would you take the house? Raymond answered for him. Because her father co-signed it. My stomach dropped. My father had quietly protected me, even in ways I didn't know. Victor looked at me gently. This house is yours, sweetheart. Legally. Completely. My husband backed away, shaking. No, this is crazy, this is... Then Victor said something that cut the air in half. You've been cheating on her. Silence. My husband froze. My mother-in-law gasped. Raymond's nostrils flared. I felt something heavy drop inside my chest. What? I whispered. Victor didn't blink. Your father asked me to keep tabs on him if anything ever fell off. And for the last 3 months, the tracker on his phone placed him at another woman's home. My husband stuttered. That's not. I can explain. It's not what you think. Victor took one step closer. Don't bother. My husband looked at me. Panic. Desperation. Fear. Honey, listen, please, it's not. I spoke quietly. You gave my car away. His mouth quivered. That's not the same. You gave it away, I repeated. And now I know why. You were too busy giving yourself away. He swallowed. I wasn't crying. I wasn't screaming. I was simply done. Victor nodded. You're leaving the house tonight. My husband shook his head violently. I won't. This isn't fair. I didn't do anything that bad. Victor chuckled. Oh, you haven't seen bad yet. Then he added, because you'll also be reimbursing her for every mile your mother put on that car. My husband's mother shouted, What? This is ridiculous. You people are treating this like a funeral. Victor stepped closer to him, and my husband fell silent immediately. Victor's voice dropped to a whisper. A car given in love is worth more than every lie you've told this woman. My mother-in-law scoffed. You can't talk to my son like that. Victor chuckled. You'd be shocked what I can do. Uncle Raymond smirked from behind him. My husband clenched his fists. I'm taking my wife home. She's not going anywhere with you, Victor said. You can't stop me. Try. My husband rushed forward, and Raymond stepped in, grabbing him by the shirt and shoving him back like he weighed nothing. Don't, Raymond growled. You're not walking away from this one. My husband stumbled, caught himself, and pointed accusingly at me. This is your fault. You caused this. You brought these men into it. You turned a simple gift into a theft. Victor finished. No, into drama. Victor raised both brows. Drama? My dear boy, you haven't even seen drama. He pulled out his phone, tapped a button, turned the screen to us, and displayed a GPS map, a tracker, a blinking dot, the Audi. My mouth fell open. You still have access to the tracker? I whispered. He nodded. Your father asked me to. Suddenly, Victor zoomed out on the map. More blinking dots appeared. Not 1, not 2, but 8. 8 devices tracking the car's location. What are those? I asked. Victor's expression darkened. Your husband's mother attached her own trackers. Several. Professionally installed. My husband went pale. And Mom, she stuttered. I didn't know whose car it was. I thought, since you gave it to me, I could keep it. Victor turned to her. His voice dropped an octave. You tracked her. You tracked her movements. You tracked her work trips. You tracked her late-night drives. You tracked something that was not yours. She took a shaky breath. It's not illegal. Victor smiled slowly. I'm afraid it is. My husband's mother froze. My husband's mouth fell open. Victor stepped closer to both of them. You two didn't just steal a car, he said. You stalked its owner. My stomach twisted. My car had a tracker I didn't know about. Multiple trackers. Every move I made. Every stop. Every pattern. They knew. Raymond clenched his fists. You two are lucky her father isn't alive, he growled. But before any of us could respond, a siren wailed down the street. Everyone turned. A police cruiser approached. Slowly, purposefully. My husband whispered, "Oh God, what now?" The cruiser stopped. The officer stepped out, walked directly toward us, and said, "Ma'am, we received a report of vehicle theft and GPS interference. Is this regarding the blue Audi?" My mother-in-law's face drained of all color. My husband began shaking. Victor smiled. Raymond exhaled. And I said, "Yes, officer. It's mine." The officer turned toward me with a respectful nod, then toward my husband and his mother with a very different expression, disbelief tinted with irritation. "Ma'am," he said gently, "can you confirm the vehicle is legally registered to you?" "Yes," I replied. "In my name only." My mother-in-law sputtered. That doesn't matter. Her husband gave it to me." The officer blinked slowly, the way someone does when they hear something incredibly stupid. "Ma'am, you can't give property that isn't yours." She turned red. "But he's her husband." The officer sighed. "Marriage does not override legal ownership." Victor folded his arms, smirking. Raymond muttered, "This is about to get good." My husband stepped forward, desperate. "Look, officer, it's just a misunderstanding. A family argument. We can sort this out privately." "No," I interrupted quietly. "We can't." The officer glanced between us. "Well, Mrs. Carter, I'm keeping my maiden name," I corrected. My husband blanched. My mother-in-law choked on air. Victor raised an approving eyebrow. "Understood," the officer said, hiding a smile. "Ms. Bennett, do you want the vehicle returned to you?" "Yes," I said. "Immediately." The officer nodded. "Then you're legally within your rights to reclaim it." My mother-in-law shrieked. "No, you can't. It's mine." "It's not," the officer said flatly, "and refusing to return it can be considered theft." She gasped like he'd slapped her. "It was a gift. To you? From someone who does not own it." His tone sharpened. "That's not a gift. That's possession of stolen property." My husband panicked. "Officer, please listen. This is getting blown out of." The officer raised a hand. "Sir, may I see your ID?" He froze. "Why?" "Because we have another issue here. The GPS tracking devices." His mother's face drained so fast, she looked ghostly. I can explain." The officer held up a hand. "Ma'am, placing unauthorized tracking devices on a vehicle you do not own is illegal, especially when that vehicle's owner did not give consent." She swallowed hard. That's not a crime, is it?" Victor laughed softly. The officer didn't. "It is." She swayed on her feet. "I only did it to make sure the car was safe." "Right," the officer said dryly. "And that's why you installed 8 professional-grade trackers." Raymond whistled. 8? That's obsession, not safety." My husband rubbed his temples. "Can we please just calm down? She didn't mean anything malicious." "Intent," the officer said, "does not negate illegality." My mother-in-law exploded. "This is her fault. She doesn't deserve anything her father left her." Everything went still. Then, Raymond stepped forward, voice dropping to the temperature of a morgue. "You say one more word about her father, and you answer to me." Victor added, "And to the law." The officer cleared his throat. "Let's handle this properly. Ms. Bennett, do you wish to press charges for unauthorized tracking?" My husband's mother shrieked. "You wouldn't." I stared at her. At the woman who insulted my father, stole my car, damaged it, tracked me, and tried to intimidate me. I inhaled slowly and said, "Not today." Relief washed over her face. "But," I continued, "I want the trackers removed. All of them. Now." The officer nodded. "We can do that." My mother-in-law exhaled shakily. "You're making a smart choice, sweetheart." "But," I interrupted again, "if any of you touch my car again or put a tracker on anything I own, I will press charges." Her mouth snapped shut. The officer turned to her. "Return the keys." She hesitated. Victor stepped forward. "You heard him." My husband snatched the keys from his mother and roughly shoved them into my hand. "There," he snapped. "Happy now?" I stared at him. Really stared. At the man who used to make me laugh. The man I once believed was kind. The man who had slowly revealed darker sides of himself slice by slice. Not yet, I said quietly. Before he could react, Victor spoke. Officer, may I show you something else relevant? The officer nodded. Victor held up his phone. The same GPS tracker map. Notice these irregular pings? He asked. The officer leaned in. Yes, that's the boyfriend. My husband's body stiffened. What boyfriend? Victor's eyes gleamed. The woman your husband has been visiting 3 to 4 times a week. My mother-in-law shrieked. My son would never, but even she didn't sound convinced. The officer crossed his arms. Sir, is that true? My husband stuttered. We were just friends. Raymond rolled his eyes. Oh, please. Men don't visit friends at midnight. My husband exploded. Why are you even here? You're not family. Raymond stepped toward him. I was your father-in-law's family, and his wishes matter more now than ever. My husband swallowed. Victor turned to the officer again. There's more. He tapped his screen. A video loaded. My stomach dropped. It was footage from my driveway. My husband handing my keys to his mother, saying, she'll never know. Just take it. His mother laughing, saying, she's too spoiled to deserve this. Your father-in-law was an idiot for giving it to her. I'll take good care of it, or not. The officer's jaw tightened. That is clear evidence of theft. My husband shook his head violently. No, that's taken out of context. Raymond chuckled. You're out of context. My husband pointed wildly at Victor. This is your fault. Why did you record that? Victor smiled. I didn't. He gestured at the house behind me. My house. Your father did. My breath caught. The door camera, Victor said gently. He installed it himself. My eyes stung. My father had protected me, even in ways I never knew. My husband's mother screamed. This is unfair. It's all unfair. The officer had had enough. Sir, he said to my husband, turn around. My husband froze. WI. You're being detained for vehicle theft and conspiracy to commit fraud. My husband's world shattered in real time. No, this is ridiculous. You can't. The officer read him his rights. My mother-in-law shrieked, grabbing the officer's arm. You can't do this. 2 more officers arrived to restrain her. She screamed, kicked, cursed, but the law didn't move. The neighborhood watched from their windows. Cars slowed down. Phones filmed. My husband glared at me with hatred and panic. This is your fault. You ruined everything. I stepped closer. No, I said softly. You ruined everything when you thought you could take from me without consequences. Victor murmured, well said. They loaded my husband into the cruiser. His mother followed, hysterical. Silence fell over the driveway. Victor turned toward me. Ready to take your car home? I nodded. But the moment I touched the driver's side door, I saw something that froze my blood. A thin piece of paper wedged under the windshield wiper. I pulled it out, unfolded it. My breath stopped. It wasn't a ticket. It was a note, handwritten. If they think the car was your only inheritance, they don't know what your father hid. Raymond's face hardened. Victor's eyes narrowed. And I whispered, what does that mean? The note trembled slightly between my fingers. Not because of the wind, because of the words. If they think the car was your only inheritance, they don't know what your father hid. My heartbeat stuttered. What is this? I whispered. Raymond stepped closer, taking the note gently from my hand. His eyes scanned it once, then again, and again. With each pass, his jaw tightened. Victor looked over his shoulder. What do you think? He asked quietly. Raymond folded the note very slowly, the way a man folds something that could detonate. I think, he said, we have a problem. A cold shiver crawled up my spine. What kind of problem? Raymond didn't answer immediately, and that terrified me more than anything. He finally looked at me. Not with anger, not with pity, but with something worse. Fear. Your father didn't tell you everything, he said. I swallowed. What did he hide? Raymond opened his mouth, but Victor cut in gently. Not here. Not standing in the open. Not with your husband screaming in a police cruiser and neighbors recording us. Raymond nodded stiffly. Agreed. I stared between them. Why? What's wrong? What does this mean? Victor stepped forward. It means, he said quietly, someone else knows something about your inheritance. Raymond added, and they're watching. My stomach twisted. Watching? Watching what? Victor looked around the neighborhood. Eyes sharp. shoulders tense, scanning every second-story window, every passing car, every shadow that lingered a second too long. Raymond pocketed the note. We need to get inside. Now. I blinked. Inside where? My house. No, Raymond said firmly. Someplace they don't know. I exhaled shakily. Who is that? Raymond hesitated, and the hesitation was enough to raise the hair on my arms. Finally, he said, people your father used to work with. My voice was barely a whisper. Work with or run from? Raymond didn't blink. Both. Victor nudged my shoulder gently. Come on, we need to leave. Now. But before any of us could move, a voice behind us said, You're not going anywhere. We all turned sharply. A man stood at the corner of the driveway. Tall, black jacket, dark glasses, expression unreadable. None of us recognized him. But Raymond and Victor both reacted the same way. They stepped in front of me at the exact same time. Victor's voice lowered. Who are you? The man removed his glasses. His eyes were cold, focused, like a sniper measuring distance. I'm here, he said calmly, for the note. Raymond's shoulders stiffened. You're not getting it. The man smiled slightly. Then this gets messy. Victor stepped forward. You're outnumbered and outmatched. Walk away. The man didn't. Instead, he spoke directly to me. Your father wasn't who you think he was. My breath faltered. You didn't know half of what he was involved in, the man continued. But the people he crossed, they do. Raymond snarled. Don't listen to him. The man ignored him. Your father left you things. Valuable things. Things the wrong people want. I stepped back. What things? The man's smile widened. You'll find out soon enough. Victor cut in sharply. Who sent you? The man slid his glasses back on. I already told you. He pointed toward the Audi. I came for the note. Raymond pulled it from his pocket and ripped it cleanly in half. The man didn't flinch. He simply said, That was a mistake. Victor's fists clenched. Get off this property. The man nodded once. As you wish. He turned, walked toward a dark SUV parked down the street. And before he got in, he looked back at me one last time. When you find the key, he said, you'll understand. Then he drove off. Silence felt like a blackout. The officer beside us slowly exhaled. Who the hell was that? Raymond ran a hand over his face. Trouble. Victor looked at the ripped note in Raymond's hand. Ray, tearing it up won't stop anything. Raymond muttered a curse under his breath. I know. I felt dizzy. Someone explain, I said, voice shaking. Right now? What is happening? What did my father leave? What key? What inheritance besides the car? Victor rubbed his jaw. How much do you know about your father's business? He worked in construction, I said. He owned a contracting company. Raymond exchanged a glance with Victor. A glance that said, She really doesn't know. Victor sighed heavily. Your father worked in construction, he corrected, but he didn't make his real money there. What does that mean? I whispered. Raymond stepped closer. It means this isn't about money. I blinked. What else could it be? He held up the torn note. This was a warning. A warning about what? Raymond lowered his voice. A safe. My pulse quickened. What safe? Victor said. The one your father hid. The one only you can open. The one that has something inside people would kill for. My breath caught. What's in it? Raymond met my eyes. We don't know. Then how do you know it exists? Victor answered. Because your father told us the night before he died. My knees nearly gave out. What? Raymond nodded solemnly. He said if anything happened to him, to protect you. Because you were the only one who could inherit what he spent his life guarding. I stared, disoriented, cold. What did he guard? Victor looked toward the direction the SUV vanished. Something big enough that the wrong people are already looking for it. The officer cleared his throat. Should I be calling backup? Because this is sounding less like a domestic dispute and more like. He never finished the sentence. Because suddenly, the Audi's headlights flashed. Once, twice, 3 times, like someone was signaling us. Then the horn honked by itself. Raymond froze. Victor's eyes widened. That's not normal, Raymond muttered. Victor whispered. It's the alert system your father installed. I stared at the car, heart pounding. What does the 3-flash signal mean? Raymond turned to me slowly, very slowly. It means, he said, voice rough, someone has already opened the trunk. My breath stopped. Who? I whispered. Victor's jaw tightened. The same person who left the note. He pointed at the Audi. Look, and then I saw it. Just barely. The trunk was open. A centimeter. Someone had broken into it. Soon. Recently. Raymond exhaled sharply. They were looking for the safe. Victor added, and since they didn't find it, they'll be back. I swallowed hard. Raymond placed a heavy hand on my shoulder. Your father trusted you with something dangerous. Victor stepped closer. And now we have to find it before they do. I whispered. Ow! Raymond answered. We start where your father ended. His eyes were dark, determined, terrified. Victor nodded. His company warehouse. I whispered the words back. My father's warehouse. Raymond squeezed my shoulder. Get your keys. He looked at Victor. Both sets. Victor nodded. We're leaving. Now. The police officer frowned. Is anyone going to tell me what's? A loud crash erupted from across the street. All of us spun. A mailbox had just exploded. Smoke rising. Metal twisted. Victor's eyes narrowed. They tipped us off, he said. That was a warning shot. Raymond pulled me toward the Audi. Move. I stumbled forward, adrenaline spiking. Victor yanked open the passenger door. Raymond looked back at the burning mailbox. They're closer than we thought. I climbed into the Audi. Raymond slammed the door shut behind me. Victor slid into the passenger seat. Raymond into the driver's seat. And as Raymond started the engine, he muttered, if they want what your father hid, they're going to have to go through us. The tires screeched. The car shot forward. And the chase began. The Audi roared down the road, engine humming like it recognized the urgency. Raymond drove with one hand on the wheel, jaw clenched, knuckles white. Victor pressed a button on the dashboard, shutting off every possible tracker. I watched the neighborhood shrink behind us in the rearview mirror. My husband arrested. His mother screaming. A stranger threatening me. A mailbox exploding. In less than an hour, my entire world had tilted off its axis. Tell me everything, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Raymond exhaled through his nose. Your father didn't keep secrets from you to hurt you, he said. He kept them because he didn't want you pulled into the things he regretted. What things? I whispered. Victor looked over at me, expression unreadable. Promises, debts, power, protection. Things men in his industry often get trapped in. My father wasn't a criminal, I snapped. Raymond nodded. He wasn't, but he worked around criminals. Sometimes with them, sometimes against them. My heart clenched. Raymond added quietly. And sometimes above them. What does that mean? Victor tapped the glove compartment. Open it. I hesitated, then pulled it open. A thin black envelope sat inside. My breath caught. Victor nodded. Your father left that for you. I picked it up slowly. Raymond turned onto the main highway. Open it. I slid my thumb under the seal. Inside was a single sheet of paper, handwritten. My father's handwriting. Pumpkin. If you're reading this, I didn't get the chance to explain. I left something behind. Something important. Something dangerous. Something worth more than anything I owned. Protect it. Trust Raymond. Trust Victor. And don't trust anyone else, even family. It begins where my work ended. At the warehouse. Dad. My fist tightened around the letter. Raymond's voice softened. He knew something was coming. He just didn't know what. Victor motioned at the letter. And that line, don't trust anyone else. He meant it. I swallowed hard. You think even my husband? Raymond gave a dark laugh. He looked guilty before he even started lying. Victor nodded. But this goes beyond him. Whatever your father hid, someone larger wants it. My pulse hammered. What is it? Raymond and Victor exchanged a look. Victor answered. A ledger. I blinked. A ledger. Raymond nodded. Your father kept records. Every shady deal he witnessed. Every illegal transaction he was asked to help cover. Every bribe he refused. Every threat he received. Names. Companies. Accounts. Evidence. My throat tightened. You're telling me my father kept a black book? No, Victor corrected softly. He kept the black book. Silence flooded the car. Raymond added, your father never used it, but he kept it in case he ever needed leverage. Insurance. Protection. Victor turned to face me. And whoever sent that note wants that leverage. My stomach sank. So my father's book could ruin people? Raymond looked dead ahead. It could destroy them. And those people would kill to get it. Victor's eyes hardened. People have killed for less. A chill swept through me. So, the warehouse, that's where it is? Raymond nodded. Unless someone found it first. I pressed my hand against the seat, grounding myself. Why didn't my father burn it? Victor exhaled. He believed in justice, even when he didn't trust the system. Raymond added, and he believed one day you might need it. I didn't know whether to be angry or heartbroken. Raymond took the next exit. The industrial district approached, gray, empty, eerie. Night settling in. The warehouse stood alone at the end of the road. Weathered, quiet, lights flickering inside. Raymond slowed the car. That's wrong, he muttered. What is? I whispered. Victor's jaw tightened. The lights should be off. A cold fear crept up my spine. Raymond parked behind a row of abandoned trailers. We're not going through the front, he said. Too exposed. Victor nodded and reached under the seat. My breath caught when he pulled out a gun. My heartbeat stopped. Raymond pulled out one too. My voice cracked. Why? Why do you both have weapons? Raymond answered bluntly. Because your father made us promise to protect you. Victor added, and because if someone is inside that warehouse, they're not here to fix drywall. I swallowed hard. What do I do? Raymond met my eyes. You listen. You stay behind us. And if anything goes wrong, you run. I nodded. We stepped out of the Audi. The air was cold. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that hums right before something breaks. Victor led the way toward the side entrance. Raymond followed behind me, hand on my shoulder, guiding, steadying. My father's letter felt heavy in my pocket. My father's legacy felt heavier. As we approached the metal side door, Victor raised a hand. Stopped. Raymond froze too. I whispered, what is it? Victor pointed at the lock. It wasn't broken. It wasn't picked. It was open. Raymond's voice sank to a warning growl. Someone beat us here. Victor tightened his grip on his weapon. We move in 3. He pressed his back to the wall. 2. Raymond raised his weapon. 1. Victor shoved the door open. We entered. The warehouse was dimly lit, shadows swallowing most of the structure. Metal racks, old machinery, stacks of crates with my father's company label. Raymond whispered, the office is upstairs. That's where he would have hidden the ledger. We crept toward the staircase. Every sound echoed. Footsteps, breaths, my racing pulse. Halfway up the stairs, Victor held out an arm, stopping us. I froze. A door creaked open above us. A silhouette stepped into the upper hallway. Tall, leaning slightly, one hand in a pocket, the other holding a flashlight. Victor inhaled sharply. Raymond stiffened. The shadow spoke. Low, calm, too calm. I wondered how long it would take you 3 to show up. My blood iced. He stepped into the light, and my heart nearly stopped. Because it wasn't a stranger. It wasn't the man from the driveway. It wasn't anyone my father warned me about. It was my husband. He smiled, but it wasn't the smile I knew. It was colder, sharper, unrecognizable. Did you really think, he said softly, I wouldn't find out about the ledger first? Raymond cursed under his breath. Victor raised his weapon. I stared at the man I married and realized I had never truly known him at all. My husband stepped backward into the office doorway and said, come in, or she loses everything. For a moment, no one breathed. My husband, the man who lied, cheated, stole my car, and played the victim, was standing in my father's warehouse, holding a flashlight like a weapon, and smirking as if he'd been waiting for us. Victor raised his gun a fraction higher. Don't move, he warned. My husband laughed. Relax. If I wanted to hurt her, I would have done it already. Raymond snarled. Boy, if you touch her, you won't leave this building with bones intact. My husband held up a hand. See, this is why I didn't come home. Everything gets blown out of proportion. I stepped forward before Victor could stop me. What are you doing here? I demanded. He shrugged, stepping farther back into the office. You think you're the only one who got a note? My breath caught. What? He smirked. Someone told me what your father left. Told me where to find it. Told me you'd run here eventually. Raymond muttered, damn it, under his breath. Victor's voice hardened. Who sent you? My husband tapped his temple. Why would I tell you that? You just run to the cops. I stepped up another stair. Then why call us here? Why wait? He lowered his voice. Because I want a deal. Victor let out a dark laugh. You're not in any position to negotiate, son. But my husband kept his eyes on me. Actually, I am, because I have something you want. He stepped into the office doorway, fully now, flashlight illuminating the small room behind him. My heart dropped, because on the table was my father's metal strongbox. It was open, wide open. Raymond swore under his breath. Victor went rigid. I couldn't breathe. You found it, I whispered. My husband nodded proudly. Oh yeah, your dad wasn't as clever as he thought. A cracked hinge, some old screws, a hidden panel, easy. Victor tightened his jaw. What did you take? My husband tilted his head. Why should I tell you that? Raymond glared. Because your life depends on it. My husband smirked again. You're assuming his ledger is the only thing in here. Victor stiffened. My stomach twisted. What else was in the safe? I asked. My husband reached inside the strongbox, pulled out a thick envelope, and tapped it against his hand. Records, names, accounts. The ledger your dad used to protect himself. Then he tapped his chest pocket. And something extra. Raymond took a step forward. What extra? My husband grinned. Oh, you didn't know? Guess your old friend didn't trust you too as much as you thought. Victor went pale. My breath hitched. What was it? I whispered. My husband held the envelope higher. A deed. Raymond blinked. A deed. My husband nodded. Yeah. Turns out your father didn't just leave you a car. He left you land. This was news to all of us. Victor narrowed his eyes. What land? My husband smirked. Prime land. Valuable land. Land people would kill for. Land tied to businesses your father kept quiet. He leaned against the office doorframe. And now, I have proof it belongs to her. My breath stopped. Why would you want that? I whispered. He laughed. I don't want it. I want compensation for keeping it quiet. Victor hissed. You're blackmailing her. My husband tilted his head. It's not blackmail if I'm asking nicely. Raymond growled. You piece of... But my husband interrupted. Calm down. I didn't come to hurt her. I came to cut a deal. He stepped deeper into the room. I want enough money to disappear. Enough to start over. And I want you to call off the cops. I stared at him, stunned. You expect me to pay you for something that belongs to me? He shrugged. You owe me. I choked out a bitter laugh. For what? For everything I covered up, he shouted, losing his cool for the first time. For everything I took blame for. For the money I borrowed for you. Raymond stepped forward sharply. Money you borrowed for your mistress. My husband flinched, then regained his smugness. Doesn't matter now. All I want is what I'm owed. Victor stepped closer. You're not owed a damn thing. My husband suddenly pointed behind us. Don't move. Victor froze. Raymond froze. I turned and saw someone standing in the shadows behind us at the bottom of the stairs. Not one of us. Not a stranger off the street. The same man from the driveway. The man in the black jacket. The one who wanted the note. My breath stopped completely. He lifted a gun, aiming straight at us. Victor cursed. Raymond pushed me behind him. My husband smirked. Oh good. You're here. That sentence was a grenade. Victor snarled. You brought him here. You work for him. My husband held up both hands. Work for him? No. He made me an offer. Raymond spit out, what offer? My husband's smirk widened. To trade you too. He pointed at Victor and Raymond. For her. Every muscle in my body turned to ice. And the man in the black jacket spoke. Come quietly, sweetheart. Victor raised his gun. Raymond did too. My husband stepped closer to the table. He picked up a lighter and held it over the envelope labeled ledger. If I don't walk out of this warehouse alive with her, he said, I burn everything your father died to protect. I froze. Victor stiffened. Raymond swore under his breath. The man in the black jacket smiled. No sudden moves. My husband's finger hovered over the lighter's trigger. One flick, one spark, and my father's secrets vanished forever. Raymond whispered, Don't. My husband whispered back, Then give me what I want. And before anyone could breathe, a second figure walked into the warehouse. A voice rang out, Drop the lighter. We spun, and, standing at the top of the stairs, holding a gun steady, was a woman, dressed in black, face unreadable, eyes locked on my husband. He froze. Victor exhaled sharply. Raymond looked stunned. I whispered, Who is she? Victor swallowed hard. That, he said, is someone your father hoped you'd never meet. The woman cocked her gun and said, "Drop the lighter." My husband's thumb hovered over the lighter wheel. One flick, one spark, and everything my father protected, every name, every secret, every crime he recorded, would burn. The woman at the top of the stairs didn't blink. Her voice was steady, sharp, and lethal. I said, "Drop it." My husband scoffed. "Or what? You'll shoot me." She adjusted her aim by a millimeter. "Yes." A chill rippled down my spine. Victor whispered to Raymond, "She's not bluffing." Raymond muttered, "She never bluffs." I whispered, "Who is she?" The woman answered without looking at me. "I'm the person your father trusted when he couldn't trust anyone else." My heart skipped. "You knew my dad?" Her eyes finally met mine. "Yes." Not warm, not kind, not soft. Professional, protective, deadly. Victor swallowed hard, then said quietly, "She was your father's fixer." The word hit me like a knock to the ribs. Fixer. Raymond clarified. When things got dangerous, she handled it. When someone threatened your father or his business, she resolved it. Permanently. My breath caught. Permanently? My husband paled, finally recognizing the danger. "You don't scare me," he lied. She tilted her head. "Then you're stupider than you look." Raymond stepped closer. "Her name's Sasha." Victor added quietly. "And if she's here, we're out of time." My stomach nodded. "What does that mean?" Sasha didn't take her eyes off my husband. "It means someone else is already coming." The man in the black jacket at the bottom of the stairs tensed. "Who?" he demanded. Sasha smiled, a cold, deadly smirk. "The people your boss doesn't want to deal with." The man blinked. "My boss?" Sasha nodded. "Yeah, the one who sent you here to kill her and retrieve the ledger." She pointed at me. I stiffened. Victor whispered, "Oh hell." The man's expression shifted from arrogance to fear. Raymond muttered, "We're officially screwed." My husband snapped. "Everyone stop. This is MY bargaining chip." He lifted the lighter slightly. Sasha stepped forward. "Drop it now." He shook his head wildly, sweat dripping down his neck. "No, not until I get money." Sasha smirked. "You're not leaving this room with a penny." The man in the black jacket raised his gun toward her. But she shot first. One bullet. Fast. Precise. It hit his wrist, sending his gun flying across the warehouse. He screamed and fell to the ground, clutching his arm. Victor grabbed me and shoved me behind him. Raymond raised his weapon again. Sasha descended the stairs gracefully, never breaking aim on my husband. "You're outnumbered," she said. "You're outsmarted. And you're out of time." My husband swallowed hard. "You're bluffing." She stepped closer. "Try me." His hand shook. The lighter trembled. "Don't come closer," he shouted. "I'll burn it. I swear I'll." Sasha cut him off. "You won't." "How do you know?" he screamed. Sasha's expression didn't change. "Because you're a coward. And cowards talk more than they act." His face twisted in anger. Then, in desperation, he grabbed the ledger envelope and held it against the lighter. Raymond swore. "Boy, don't you." But Sasha didn't shout. She didn't panic. She simply said, "Look behind you." My husband scoffed. "Seriously? You think I'm that stupid?" But then his smug expression faltered. Something, or someone, shifted in the office behind him. A shadow. A presence. A faint, unmistakable sound. Breathing. My husband froze. He turned. Slowly, like his neck was made of rusted hinges. And then I saw it too. A second person stood in the office. A tall figure in a dark coat. Face hidden. Hands gloved. Motionless. Watching. My breath vanished. Victor whispered, "Not good, not good." Raymond tightened his grip on his gun. Sasha stopped moving altogether. My husband's voice cracked. Who are you?" The figure stepped forward. Just once. No weapon. No sound. Just presence. Cold. Heavy. Wrong. The man in the black jacket on the floor screamed. "Not him. Not him." He scrambled backward in panic. Sasha muttered, "Well, that answers who sent the note." Raymond's face went pale. Victor whispered, "No way, he's supposed to be dead." My skin prickled with ice. "Who is he?" I demanded. Sasha answered quietly. "The one man your father could never outrun." The figure stepped closer. I stepped backward instinctively. My husband stumbled, holding the lighter uselessly in the air. Then the man spoke. Just one word. One low, gravel-edged word that echoed through the warehouse and froze all of us. Daughter. My heart stopped. I blinked. Twice. Horrified. No, I whispered. No. Raymond staggered backward. Victor's gun dropped an inch. Sasha looked genuinely surprised. My husband's mouth fell open. The shadowed figure stepped fully into the light. And I saw my father's face. Alive. Older. Harder. Colder. Scarred. But alive. My father. My dead father. Somehow standing in front of me. The world tilted. Raymond whispered. He died in the accident. Victor muttered. They told us he was gone. Sasha's eyes narrowed, stunned. My father stepped closer and said in a voice that was not soft, not warm, not fatherly. You were never supposed to find the safe. Tears blur my vision. Dad, I choked. He didn't react. Not a flicker of recognition. Not warmth. Only purpose. He stared at the ledger, then at my husband, then at me. Give it to me, he commanded. My knees shook. You're alive? I whispered. You how? He didn't answer. He stepped closer. Give me the ledger. My husband's face twisted between terror and confusion. You mean this? He stammered. My father reached out a hand. Yes. Sasha raised her gun again. Not another step. My father ignored her. Raymond tried to speak. Why didn't you tell us? Why fake your death? Victor whispered. What happened to you? My father didn't look away from me. You weren't supposed to get dragged into this. My throat tightened. Then why did you come back now? He finally met my eyes and said, because the wrong people know you exist. My chest clenched. What does that mean? His jaw hardened. You're the only heir linked to everything I hid. Sasha's eyes widened. My God, she's the key. Raymond muttered. Of course. Victor cursed under his breath. I stared at my father, breath shaking, heart cracking. You left me, I whispered. He didn't flinch. You were safer without me. No, I said louder. You lied. You let me think you were dead. You let me mourn you. His expression didn't change. There was no other option. Tears burned my eyes. My husband trembled. Can I just give him the ledger and leave? My father turned slowly toward him, and his voice dropped into something darker, colder, final. You're not leaving. My husband's face drained of all color. What? Sasha stepped between us. No, that's not happening. My father's eyes narrowed. You don't give orders here. Victor stepped closer. Maybe she does now. Raymond raised his gun. She's not your enemy. My father's voice sharpened like a blade. She is standing between me and the only leverage we have left. Sasha answered. And she's the only reason you're still breathing. My father looked at her. Something flickered. Annoyance? Respect? It was impossible to tell. The warehouse vibrated with tension. And then, my father raised his hand again. Give me the ledger. My husband swallowed hard. Okay, just don't shoot. He lifted the envelope and grabbed me by the arm. Victor shouted, and no. Raymond lunged. Sasha fired a warning shot. My father moved, fast as lightning. My husband yanked me toward the office doorway and whispered, if I can't have the money, then you are my leverage. The lighter hit the floor. The flame sparked, and the envelope began to burn. The flame caught instantly. The edge of the envelope curled, blackened, and began to smoke. No, Victor lunged toward it. But my husband dragged me backward into the office, using me as a shield. The strongbox slammed against my hip as he pulled me. Pain shot through my ribs, but adrenaline swallowed it. Let her go. Raymond thundered. My husband held me tighter. No one moves. One more step, and I burn everything. Sasha pointed her gun at him. Victor raised his. Raymond locked aim, but none of them fired, because my husband had the burning ledger in one hand, and his other arm wrapped around my throat. My father stared at us, expression cold, unreadable, terrifying. Release her, he said quietly. My husband laughed, breath hot against my ear. Oh, now you want to play daddy? Funny timing. He inched closer to the back corner of the office, dragging me across the dusty floor. The flames grew brighter. A corner of the ledger burned through, exposing its contents, dense handwriting, numbers, names. Names my father risked his life to record. Names people were willing to kill for. Sasha stepped forward. You're going to suffocate her. He tightened his grip on my throat. She'll live. As long as you don't do anything stupid. Raymond snarled. Victor cursed. Sasha steadied her aim. My father didn't move. Not a step. Not a breath. Let her go, he repeated. My husband smirked. Or what? You'll fake your death again? You'll walk away like before? You're all talk. My father's eyes, flat, cold, dead, shifted minimally. What do you want? My husband stopped laughing. Silence thickened the room. Finally, he said, freedom, money, protection. My father blinked once. Is that all? My heart twisted, because he sounded like a man used to bargaining for lives. My husband nodded quickly. Yes, that's all. I just want out. I want a clean slate. He lifted the burning envelope with a trembling hand. Give me what I want, or this entire ledger goes up in flames. Sasha hissed. We can't let that ledger burn. My father's voice sharpened. The ledger doesn't matter. SHE does. That froze everyone. Even the fire seemed to pause. Sasha looked at him sharply. Raymond's jaw dropped. Victor narrowed his eyes. My heart hammered. My father stepped forward. One slow step. My husband jerked me backward. One more step, and I swear I. But my father didn't stop. His voice remained eerily calm. You're negotiating from weakness. If you wanted leverage, you should have taken the ledger and run. The flames crawled toward the center of the envelope. Smoke filled the office. My throat tightened. Dad, I croaked. He didn't look at me. His eyes were locked on the ledger burning in my husband's hand. My husband's breath shook. I will do it. Don't test me. You won't, my father said. Yes, I will. No, my father repeated. Because you know if you burn it, you're useless to everyone. My husband blinked rapidly. What? You're a liability, my father said. No skills, no power, no intelligence. The only thing keeping you alive is what you're holding. My husband's grip loosened, just slightly. And once it burns, my father added, so does your value. My husband swallowed. Hard. The envelope burned faster. The room filled with crackling paper and rising heat. Victor whispered urgently, we're losing time. Sasha shifted her stance. We may need to shoot. No, Raymond snapped. She's in the line of fire. My husband gasped suddenly as the flames reached his thumb. Damn it. He shook the envelope violently, burning ash scattering through the air. I seized the moment. I stomped on his foot as hard as I could. He yelped. His grip loosened. I twisted and shoved away from him. Victor rushed forward. Get her! Raymond charged. But my husband recovered faster than anyone expected. He threw the burning ledger behind him, straight into the office curtains. They caught instantly. Flames roared upward. The office ignited. Smoke billowed out in seconds, thick and choking. Victor shouted, "No, no, no." My father lunged, not toward me, but toward the fire. Sasha yelled, "We need to move." My husband bolted for the far door. "Stop him," Raymond roared. Victor ran after him, but the warehouse floor was slick and my husband dodged between machinery. Sasha fired. The bullet pinged off a steel beam and ricocheted. My husband disappeared deeper into the warehouse. Raymond shouted after him, "Coward!" Sasha pulled me back toward the stairs. "We have to get out now." "No," I screamed. "My dad." My father was inside the burning office, stomping the flames, ripping the curtains down, fighting the fire with bare hands. Smoke swallowed him. "Dad!" I shrieked. Raymond grabbed my arm. "Let him work." "No, he'll die." Sasha's grip tightened like iron. "He's been dead once already. He knows how to survive." The warehouse groaned. Metal creaked. Flames licked across the ceiling. Victor sprinted back toward us through the smoke. "He escaped," he coughed. "He's heading for the yard." Sasha cursed. "We have to go now. The whole building could collapse." But I couldn't move. I couldn't leave. Not again. Not after everything. I stared into the burning office. Through the flames. Through the smoke. Searching for movement. For a figure. For a shadow. For him. "Dad!" I screamed again. Raymond shouted over the roar of fire. "We have to leave." "No!" Sasha pushed me toward the stairs. I stumbled, but froze at the sound behind me. Ash shifted. Metal clanged. Something heavy toppled inside the office. Dad, I cried. Victor tried to pull me. Please, we don't have time. And then a hand appeared at the office doorway. Charred, shaking, reaching. Dad, I shrieked. His voice, hoarse and broken, barely carried through the flames. Run. Then something exploded in the back of the warehouse. A deafening boom. The floor shook. The ceiling cracked. Fire burst across the rafters. Sasha grabbed me in a chokehold grip and yanked me down the stairs as debris collapsed behind us. She needs to live, Sasha screamed to Raymond and Victor. Move! We ran. Smoke chased us. Flames rained embers from above. Metal groaned like a wounded beast. At the exit, Sasha shoved me forward. Raymond pushed open the back door. Victor covered our escape. The warehouse shook again. A second explosion, and then a third. We burst through the door into the cold night, and the warehouse collapsed in on itself. A massive, thunderous crash rang out as the entire structure buckled and fell. Flames erupted sky-high. Black smoke curled into the night. I screamed, Dad! Raymond grabbed me, holding me back as I sobbed and fought against him. Sasha shielded her face from the heat. Victor's expression cracked, shock mixing with horror. I fell to my knees, screaming, crying, choking on air. The warehouse burned violently. No one could survive that. No one. Raymond knelt beside me. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. But then, a silhouette appeared in the smoke. A tall figure, limping, swaying, burned, alive. My heart stopped. Dad, I whispered. He took one unsteady step forward and collapsed, face first, unmoving. Victor sprinted to him. Sasha drew her gun, scanning the yard. Raymond shouted for me to stay back, but I crawled forward on shaking hands and knees. Dad, Dad, Dad. Victor reached him first. He knelt, rolled him onto his back, and froze. His eyes went wide. Then he whispered, Oh God, this isn't him. My blood iced. What? What? Raymond turned the body slightly, and I saw. The face wasn't my father's. It was burned beyond recognition, but enough remained to show. It was the man in the black jacket, the one Sasha shot, the one who chased us, the one who threatened me. Sasha swore violently. Victor's voice shook. We were tricked. Raymond swallowed hard. Oh my God, he switched places. I staggered to my feet. What does that mean? Where is my father? Sasha pointed at the yard fence. He's alive. Raymond nodded grimly. And he's gone. Victor stepped closer, staring into the darkness. My voice trembled. But why? Why would he leave? Why run again? And then, from somewhere far across the yard, almost too faint to catch, came the echo of a familiar voice. You were never supposed to be part of this. I spun, but the darkness swallowed everything. He was gone. My father was alive, and missing again, and somewhere in the chaos. My husband had escaped, with whatever he stole from the safe. The warehouse burned long into the night. Emergency lights painted the collapsing structure red and white. Firefighters shouted. Sirens wailed. Smoke rose like a dark veil, swallowing the stars. But I heard none of it. I was staring into the darkness where my father vanished. Alive, real, breathing, and gone. Again, Victor placed a firm hand on my shoulder. We have to move, he said softly. He's not coming back tonight. Raymond stood by the wreckage, fists clenched, jaw tight. Sasha paced like a caged predator, scanning every shadow, every rooftop, every alley. He let himself be seen, she said under her breath. He wanted her to know. I wiped tears from my cheeks. Why would he do that? Why would he let me think he was dead for all these years? Raymond stepped close. He was hiding something bigger than himself. Victor nodded. And now he's hiding again because someone wants what he protected, even more now that the ledger is gone. My stomach nodded. What was in the safe? What did my husband take? Sasha stopped pacing. Her eyes locked onto mine. There were 2 items inside. She held up 2 fingers. One, the ledger, which is now burned. My heart cracked, even though I never fully understood its power. Victor lifted a charred scrap from the ground. Names were still faintly visible on it. Enough survived, he murmured, to make enemies. Sasha continued. 2, the deed. The land, I whispered. Raymond nodded. A piece of property your father bought in someone else's name. Someone he trusted. Sasha looked directly at me. You? My heart pounded. I didn't even know it existed. Of course you didn't, she said. That was the point. I shook my head. What kind of land could be so valuable? What was he hiding there? Victor pulled something from his jacket. A small plastic bag. Inside, a thin rectangle of blackened steel. He hit a key. My breath hitched. Where did that come from? It was glued to the underside of the strongbox, Victor said. And your husband didn't see it. Sasha took the bag. This key opens a safety deposit box. We need to find which bank it belongs to. Raymond crossed his arms. And we need to figure out what's in it before your husband does. Fear twisted inside me. He still has the deed. Sasha nodded. And that makes him dangerous. I stared at the flames, letting the heat sting my cheeks. He won't stop. I whispered. He'll come for me. For all of us. Raymond placed a hand on my back. That's why we're staying with you until this ends. I shook my head. No, you've already done too much. Victor let out a soft, humorless laugh. This isn't charity, sweetheart. Your father made us promise. And we're not breaking that now. Sasha stepped forward. And besides, if we leave you alone, your husband will get himself killed and take half the city with him. A small, broken laugh escaped me despite the fear. Raymond turned serious again. We need a plan. Sasha nodded. But first, we need to leave. This place is compromised. They know we were here. Victor looked toward the yard fence. And your father's out there? Watching. I felt his absence like a cold shadow behind my ribs. He could have stayed, I whispered. He could have talked to me. Explained. Raymond exhaled. He didn't want you pulled into this world. Sasha added. But it's too late for that now. I wrapped my arms around myself. The night wind carried smoke and ash. Pieces of my father's secrets drifting away. Pieces of a life I thought I understood. Raymond helped me stand. We're taking you home, he said. No, Sasha corrected. Not home. They know her address. We take her to the safe house. Victor opened the Audi's back door. Your father built it for emergencies, he said. And tonight counts. I hesitated. What if my husband shows up at the house? What if? Sasha cut me off gently. The police will handle him. And he won't get far without the deed, Raymond added. And he sure as hell won't outrun your father. I stared at the wreckage one last time. At the flames consuming everything familiar. At the place where my father died in my heart twice. Then I finally whispered, okay, let's go. The safe house wasn't a house at all. It was a concrete bunker hidden beneath a mechanic's shop my father used to visit. Sasha unlocked it with a code and a retinal scan. Raymond whistled low. Only he would build a bunker under a place that looks like it sells tires and regret. Victor smirked. That was the idea. Inside, the walls were thick steel. Monitors lined the far side. Maps, files, photos, and a single cot in the corner. My father had lived here, or hidden here, maybe both. My chest tightened. This is where he stayed? All these years. Sasha nodded. This was one of his safe locations. He had several. The word hit me hard. My father hadn't died. He had disappeared. Deliberately. Raymond pulled out a metal chair and set it beside me. Sit. Breathe. I sat. Victor knelt beside a locked cabinet, typing in a code. Metal clicked. The door opened. Inside were photographs. Some old, some recent. Snapped from afar. My father watching me from a distance, at the grocery store, my workplace, my apartment, even a cafe. I cover my mouth. He was checking on me. Victor nodded. Always. Raymond handed me a picture. It was me at my college graduation. My father wasn't there that day. He told me he was too sick to make the trip, but the photo showed him standing behind a tree on campus. Watching. Alone. Hidden. Tears blurred my vision. He missed everything. I whispered. My birthday. My wedding. My worst days. My best days. All of it. Sasha's voice softened. He didn't miss. He watched. I shook my head. I don't understand. Why disappear at all? Why fake his death? Why leave me behind? Sasha exhaled. Because he knew if he didn't vanish, one day, they'd come for you. I stared at her. Why me? Victor answered. Because you're the legal heir to the land. Raymond added. And what's on that land is bigger than all of this. I swallowed. What's on it? Sasha opened her mouth. A warning alarm blared. Victor spun toward the monitors. Raymond grabbed his gun. Sasha pulled out hers. What's happening? I shouted. Victor's voice dropped. Someone was outside. Several someones. Raymond muttered, Damn it. How did they find us so fast? Sasha hit the security feed button. 5 armed figures appeared on the screen, all wearing black, all moving with military precision. Who are they? I cried. Victor didn't look away. The people your husband contacted. Raymond cursed. He led them straight to us. Sasha glared at the screen. Idiots. They're trying to breach the door. Raymond turned to me. You have to go into the back vault. I'm not leaving you. I shouted. Victor grabbed my shoulders. You don't have a choice. The bunker doors vibrated violently. A metallic crash echoed through the room. Sasha shouted. They've got breaching tools. Move. Victor pushed me toward a narrow hallway. Raymond covered the entrance with his gun. Sasha took position beside him. Another explosion rocked the bunker door. I stumbled. My heart raced. Victor shoved open a smaller steel door at the hallway's end. Inside, I hesitated at the threshold. Where are you going? Raymond yelled. We'll hold them off. Sasha barked. Go! The bunker door screeched under pressure. Sparks flew. The attackers shouted commands. Victor shoved me inside the vault and slammed the door. Darkness swallowed me. A single emergency light flickered on. The room was empty except for a steel table and a lockbox sitting on top. A box the exact size of the key Victor found. My heart pounded. This was it. The last inheritance. The final piece. I took out the key with shaking hands, slid it into the lock, turned. The box clicked open. Inside was a map, a USB drive, a folded letter, and a small black device with a blinking red light. I unfolded the letter. My father's handwriting. If you're reading this, pumpkin, they know about the land. They know what lies beneath it. And now, they'll come for you. Run. Trust no one. And whatever you do, do not let the device fall into the wrong hands. I love you. I'm sorry. Dad. I lifted the device. It was warm, humming, alive. Behind me, gunfire erupted. Shouting, crashing, screams. Victor's voice. Get back, Sasha, move. Raymond shouting. Keep her safe. Breach on the left. The bunker shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. A voice boomed in the hallway. Find the girl. My breath hitched. I looked at the device in my hand. Just as the vault door began to open. Slowly, creaking, metal grinding. Not from the outside, but from inside. Someone was already in the vault. A hand grabbed my shoulder, and a familiar voice whispered, Come with me if you want to live. I spun. My breath stopped. It was my father, alive, bleeding, burned alive. He grabbed my arm. We're out of time. The vault door blew inward, and 3 armed men rushed. I and why father pulled me down a hidden hatch in the vault floor. Bullets flew overhead. Chaos erupted. The hatch sealed above us. Darkness swallowed us. And my father whispered, You're not safe with them anymore. They don't know the truth about you. My pulse hammered. What truth? He looked at me with hollow, urgent, haunted eyes. The land, the ledger, the device. They were never the real secret. I froze. What was the secret then? He swallowed. Hard. You were. Darkness closed around us. And the last thing I heard, before the world went black, was my father saying, You're the only one who can finish what I started.